Okay, still working on deep distinctions. Now we're going to talk about, or we're going to try to bring all the previous videos kind of together into one wonderful insight. Hopefully, something that will make good. I know a lot of people don't think much of history, don't want to study it, think it's boring. Of course, it doesn't help that a lot of courses make it boring by making you memorize dates and names and it's easy to turn it into a boring thing until you realize that it has application in our day. The history of a lot of the technologies behind information technology is, I think, kind of vital to understanding what's going on, so that you can figure out where things break down. A lot of IT has to do with troubleshooting and repairing problems. So the better you understand the underlying technology, the more accurate your troubleshooting is going to ultimately prove to be. Um, I think I've harped on this enough, but we're going to talk about it just a little bit more. Doing the same old things, only doing it differently. Like I said, most of technology hasn't really improved in the last 70, 80 years. We're still using the same basic concepts and the same basic ideas and the same basic materials that we've been using for a long time. We're only now mashing them up in different ways and marketing them differently, finding new applications for it. It's mostly application making now, which is, it's not bad. These are not bad things. It's just like everything else. You go, boy, what's the history of cars? And you go, horse-drawn carts. How old are they? Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. And you go, that's no problem. It's no problem that we're just using the same old stuff to accomplish things because it works. Why on earth? It's called reinventing the wheel. Why bother? When it works okay, it works okay. You don't have to do it any differently. Most things don't really become obsolete. We just find new applications for them. And that's going to become, and maybe when you get older, and that's not to say that you're inexperienced and stupid, you don't really notice it unless you've seen things for many, many years. Most of you don't have many, many years to draw on. It's not a rude statement. I hope you don't take it as being rude that you're young. There's some things you just can't see. There's some things that 70-year-olds know that I don't know just because I haven't been around for 70 years yet. It's okay. It's life. What are you going to do? You just have to live 70 years, and then you might know some of those things, especially if you're looking around, you got your eyes open, see what's happening. You have to understand that most of the really major, big, huge changes in technology happen behind the scenes where your normal end user will never even see them. They don't even know what happened. That's okay. Most people don't really have a memory either. I'm really bad at memory too. But I've noticed some things. They happen in the back rooms of companies and governments and universities and all these things. That's where all these amazing things come from. The big, wide sweeping innovations usually are things that you might not even know about unless you are a person that's watching for them or is intrinsically tied to the technology that's coming about. The whole point is to try to give people a technology, and this is the really important part of this video, to bring people more capability through the same kind of motif that they're accustomed to. Let me give you an example. It's called push-to-talk. It's a push-to-talk service. It's a service that's offered by some of the cellular companies. The one I'm specifically thinking about is AT&T. Got the little reference down here just in case you guys say, everyone's always talking about references and he never makes any references. Here's an example of a reference. Well, I didn't do it in APA style now, did I? Oh my gosh. I'm a bad dude, man. Yeah, you can give me an F later if you want to. It's fine. It's okay. I'm still going to get paid until they fire me. Anyway, so here's how, Think about when you were maybe a kid. Maybe I'm thinking about when I was a kid. Maybe you guys didn't have this when you were a kid. We used to have these things called walkie-talkies. It was the coolest thing. You would buy them I'd get them for Christmas, and we'd get it. I only had one brother, and he didn't like me much. We didn't get along very well. He was my older brother. So we would get these walkie-talkies, but we'd never really talk to each other over the walkie-talkies because he didn't want to talk to me. And I didn't have a lot of friends, honestly. Nerdy types don't tend to have lots of friends. Anyway, but the whole concept was it was just two little radio transceivers. You'd push the button on one and talk into it. Hello, 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 hello. And then the other guy and the other guys could hear about it. Then he would you would let up on this button, and he would push that button and go, hello, 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 and you'd hear it on the other side. If you like those weird action movies, no, they're not weird. Those cool action movies where they all have the little radios and they talk to each other. All right, everybody, get into place. We're going to go over here. You're really looking at push-to-talk technology. Make sure move into this position. Get ready to shoot that guy. Okay, you see him in your sights? Yeah. That's push-to-talk technology over radio. They say that it's private. It's really not. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That was a technology, and a lot of people use that in business, and people got really accustomed to having that radio. It's kind of cool. Hello, this is Jeff. I'm getting ready to bring a piece of equipment over to you over there in that one. The guy would answer back, okay, bring it over. People got really accustomed to that, and that's how they wanted to interact with each other. Well, AT&T said, hey, we can simulate that over the cellular network with two basically cell phones, although we can package them like those radios, little rubber ducky antenna on it, and the button. The button was really important. Hello, how are you doing there? And they made it so this would go over the cellular network. And you're going, well, that's kind of dumb. Why don't they just call each other? So the thing is you could do it really fast. And this push-to-talk radio technology that was applied to cellular networks, the whole point was that it would make that connection between these two stations very fast. You can also do it so that you can do it, and it behaves just like radio too. Several different people within the broadcast range could hear that too. That was one of the wonders of radio, was the fact that it could be a one-to-many communication thing. Other people could listen in, and when they got a chance, they could talk back to you and say, hey, idiot, don't do that. Don't take that over there. It needs to go to another building. Go take it over to the other building. At a certain point, but one of the problems with radio is it's only got a limited range. So AT&T said, hey, this is cool. It says, we can have it go across continents. It's like having radio that can span continents, but it's private. Other people, the people that you don't want to have hear it can't hear it. The people who you do want to have hear it, they can hear it. And so they came up with this and was able to do it over the cellular network. We're doing the same things, only we're using a different technology to do it. There's some good sides to it. There's some bad sides to it. One of the bad sides is that even though that you have these radios, once you bought the radio and you had it, besides just replacement costs, it was basically free to use. AT&T, of course, when they use it over their cellular service, you're paying monthly for this wonderful feature. And, it costs a little bit more, but it gives you this wonderful capability. If you are in Tokyo and you're trying to handle some logistics problem in a factory over here in the United States, you could use this push-talk technology. It'd be just like you were on the radio talking to the guy inside your own facility. Hey, take that over to where this other guy is and give it to him. And it just takes a few seconds. It's for really short communications, and it's really kind of cool. Anyway, it's us using technology for something for which it probably was never originally intended, but it makes the end user feel good because they're accustomed to this technology. It's hidden. All the weird infrastructure behind it is totally hidden from them. They think they're just talking on the radio. And that's a big thing about information technology, is to make your users